everyone, how are you doing? Welcome to Facts and Two Cents. Wow, it's been about a week and something that I haven't really been in contact with everybody. I'm sorry I have been a little bit distracted. We're coming to the end of our very long and arduous renovation. You guys have lived with me through this renovation, but it is amazing. Now is putting our home back together, and as you know, you never know how much you have until you try to take it out and try to fit it all back in. It's like this is impossible. But so I've been a little bit distracted with that. So now that that's coming to an end, life is a lot more simple. We're no longer displaced. um, our the people who were working on the apartment have done an amazing job, so we're very happy with it. But I am back, and again, this is Facts and Two Cents. Yes, as you know, we are a channel that supports the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Harry, Meghan, Big Boy Archie, Baby Lily, Mama Doria, Poola Guy, and the chickens. So we are biased and we are petty, and so you know the rules. Don't come for our faves, or we are going to come for you. That said, since I've been sort of distracted the last week and something, I have gotten the post that many trolls have infected our comments, and I know a lot of them were kicked off Twitter and are now infecting Sussex positive channels, and some of them were on here, and I even got a post. I mean, the nerve, gall, and audacity! Someone impersonating Church Nelly. I'm like, what? you know and also I didn't know, and I didn't know Church Nelly's name. I only knew you, sorry Church Nelly, I only know you by Church Nelly. I only know what you put on our comments. So I don't know anyone besides what I see, and I don't know any names other than the names, the usernames you use on our comments. So I had no idea until I got this message that someone is impersonating Church Nelly, and I was like, what the heck? I mean, the nerve, gall, and audacity, so fear not. I think I found a person and banned them and a few others that I saw on our comments. So I'm so sorry that you had to put up with that nonsense. But one of the things with when you see trolls, please just alert us if I somehow miss them. Just alert us, please. Don't respond to trolls. They are here, they want a response, they want you to sort of fight with them, and that's the reason that they would do it. Do not respond to them. Just alert us, or ignore them and just trust that I'm going to find them, or alert us and we will just ban them from the site. We do not tolerate trolls. We're not going to engage with trolls. No engaging, no trying to reasoning. Just ignore them because they want you to fight with them. So anyways, thank you guys, and I'm so sorry. I'll be working on this every day to make sure that our space and our community is a troll-free community. So again, I apologize, Church Nelly, and anyone else that I don't know about that have been impersonated. Ugh. I definitely apologize about that, and I will do better. We will do better to make sure the space is a troll-free space. So that said, on with our faves. They have been pretty quiet for the year. I mean, we heard from Prince Harry that he is doing his seminar in a few days on February 3rd. And adding to that, Serena Williams would be with him, and Alex. So it's going to be amazing. So excited to know that our fave tennis player, Serena, is going to be there, that she'll join Alex and Harry to do that. I think they're going to be because Harry and Alex were going to do the last part of it. So I think that starts at like 4, I think from 4 to 5. So, or 1 or 1 o'clock California time. So hey. So I am looking forward to that. I hope you guys have signed up. Of course I signed up. So if you haven't already, I'm going to put the link again in our show notes. So definitely jump in there and sign up for that. So it's going to be exciting. And it's an all day event. It's like, I think it starts from like 10 a.m. or something like that and goes straight through until 5. So there's going to be different speakers and all of that stuff. So you can look, when you sign up, you can look at the agenda and you can decide, if you can do all day or pick and choose which of the different segments that you are interested in being part of. So that would be fantastic. So also, the last time I posted, I know Pam posted really important information last week. Thank you, Pam. Um, you know, about making sure that we're not, falling prey to Bitcoin nonsense, using Meghan and Harry. So that was really great information by Pamela. Thank you. Um, you know, also, the last couple of weeks, the last time I posted, we talked about Bot Sentinel and their report. And what I didn't know, and because I don't follow her, Cardi B had a similar situation going on with some troll. Her name is Tasha K. I'd never heard of Tasha K before 2 weeks ago. I was like, who? Again, I'm not on YouTube watching stuff, so I don't know any of these people, and I definitely will not ever go near some, like a hate channel or anything like that. And apparently this woman, Tasha K, was saying all this, horrible things about Cardi B. And so we're going to do a little bit more in depth about the situation with Cardi B and Tasha K in another video. But it was just like, are you serious? So that stuff was going on, and I was like, who are these people? And it's like, you think that, in my brain is like, not, I shouldn't be shocked, but it was just like, oh my gosh, there are more people going through this horrible thing with YouTubers. And, you, for some reason, YouTube, they feel like you can go on YouTube and say any nasty thing you want about someone. And for some reason, don't expect to pay the consequence or suffer the consequence of what you're doing. So again, we'll go into in-depth with Tasha K and Cardi B in another episode. But it was just incredible. That's like, oh my gosh, I didn't know about these people. I did not know about that. I mean, of course, I know Cardi B. Cardi B is a New Yorker. Yeah. I don't follow her music or anything like that. I mean, I know of her music, but I don't know, like, the ins and outs of what goes on with her. So, because I don't follow her. But, but it was heartbreaking to know that someone would do that and just, oh gosh, it just, anyways, other than that, this past week has been it's been like, what is wrong with people? Spotify has found themselves literally stepped into a pile of doo-doo of their own making. Like, what is wrong with you? You know, because I don't know how many people, how many of you guys are subscribers to Spotify, but especially their podcasts. I mean, they have some great podcasts on there, like Brene Brown and Michelle Obama and all of those. They have great stuff on there. But also, as with every other thing, there is the other side. There is the Joe Rogans of the world and others like him who literally spread misinformation, blatant lies about COVID and, about COVID treatments, blatant lies about the vaccines and ivermectin, that horsey wormer thing that they all are, spreading that could cure COVID and all this nonsense, you know. And so the thing is that with Spotify, you have all this great content, but you have all this other mess going on with it. And so last week, or yeah, I guess, a little while ago, a lot of medical professions write an open letter to Spotify telling them, look, your platform is, basically spreading misinformation. This stuff is costing people their lives. Literally, people are dying because of misinformation. Of course, Spotify didn't, like, oh, we're $1 billion company. We don't care. We don't have to listen to you, And then next thing, and I wasn't really paying and keeping up with what Spotify were doing, And then last week, this singer Neil Young, and then, as I'm recording this, I'm realizing like, oh, wait, I should have looked up who Neil Young is. I don't know Neil Young's music, and I should have looked up. So now I'm the lazy, YouTuber who didn't do her homework as to who Neil Young is, because I don't know Neil Young's music. Anyway, so Neil Young is a singer, and Neil Young asked Spotify to, in reaction to the misinformation that's spread by Joe Rogan and his, others like him on Spotify. He's like, take down my music. You know, I want my music off there, basically. And so Spotify, instead of, talking to Neil Young and trying to corral their, Joe Rogan with his madness, they decided to pull Neil Young's music. Now, I'm thinking Spotify is thinking, and if you don't know, Joe Rogan signed $100 million contract with Spotify. So basically, part of Spotify is paying Joe Rogan to lie. They knew what he was. They know what he's been doing. They've literally signed a contract with this guy to basically be on their platform lying. And if you don't know who Joe Rogan is the top podcaster in the world. This guy, he is a big deal. He's the number one. He has the number one podcast in the world. If you go, look to any country with Joe Rogan, pretty much, especially on Spotify, Joe Rogan would be at the top of it. And so, on one hand, you're like, okay, Joe, you're thinking Neil Young. You're thinking Neil Young and my $100 million guy who has the top podcast in the world, who brings millions in, which means advertiser dollars and all of that stuff. If I had a choice of who to pull from my platform, let's see, it's like Neil Young, Joe Rogan, Neil Young, Joe Rogan. If you're looking at it in terms of pure finances, then okay, Spotify did what the money spoke there. They pulled Neil Young's music off. And I'm sure Spotify, when they did that, they're probably thinking, oh, nobody would care. It's like, who knows who Neil Young is? The younger generation who probably listen to Joe Rogan don't know Neil Young's music, probably. I don't know. Maybe Neil Young is a big deal. And again, I haven't researched Neil Young, so maybe I just don't know how popular he really is. But that's what my thinking is, that Spotify is probably thinking, oh, nobody's really that. It's not a big deal. You know what I mean? Boy, were they wrong. Ever since they did that, everything has gone south for Spotify. I mean, they have been canceled. They are being canceled in so many ways. Who knew Neil Young was this powerful, But I think what happened is Spotify simply failed to read the room. They simply failed to test the temperature of their subscribers, because tons of people are unsubscribing from Spotify. Not only that, music artists are pulling their music from Spotify. And, along with Neil Young, they are pulling Joni Mitchell's, they're all pulling their music off of Spotify. Their shares have been tanking for days now, and to the billions. Last time I checked, it was $2 billion. And I mean, it is just like, I think they probably are like shocked that in the space of a few days, I'm sure they had no inkling that this is where that decision would lead. People are tired of misinformation. People are tired of the nonsense of the Joe Rogans of the world, spreading their nonsense. And so, along with this, as this is happening, of course, especially, thinking in terms of our fave, of course, the British press would chime in with, because we know our faves have a deal with Spotify, And so, of course, the British press is going to be like, Harry and Meghan's $18 million deal. And it's like, wait a minute. If we recall, even though Spotify or the Sussexes have never said how much their deal is worth, the press has determined it's $18 million, and they've been running with this $18 million nonsense for a while now, really, since this whole thing happened. And if you remember back last week, or, a little over a week ago, the narrative was Harry and Meghan are so bad. They're horrible producers. They haven't done anything for Spotify. Spotify need to cancel their deal with them. They don't know what they're doing. Spotify has to take back their podcast and produce it for them because they have no idea what they're doing because they only did that one podcast in December of 2020 and they have produced nothing for Spotify. So Spotify need to just get rid of them because they don't know what they're doing. That was the narrative like about a week and a half ago. Since this stuff has happened with Joe Rogan and Neil Young, the narrative has switched. Obviously, if it's a British press, it's like a 24-hour narrative thing that happens with them. And so now it's switched. Harry and Meghan need to cancel their deal with Spotify because Spotify is, spreading misinformation and they're all about, fighting misinformation. So Harry and Meghan need to cancel. And if they don't cancel their deal with Spotify, they are hypocrites. Of course, when that narrative comes from the British press, we know the motive behind wanting Harry and Meghan to cancel that because they don't want Harry and Meghan to have that $18 million because that's their deal. They don't want Harry and Meghan to succeed. We know the motive for why they're saying what they're saying. It has nothing to do with Joe Rogan or misinformation because we know the British press is all about misinformation. So they are hypocrites even talking about misinformation because that's all their press is about. So, but anyways, so they were doing that. So Harry and Meghan released a statement. And I love this statement. I love the statement that they really... Actually, I was thinking that they were just going to ignore the whole thing and not going to say anything. But they released a statement from Archwell, and this is what the statement said. Since the inception of Archwell, we have worked to address the real-time global misinformation crisis. Hundreds of millions of people are affected by the serious harms of rampant mis- and disinformation every day. Last April, our co-founders began expressing concerns to our partners at Spotify about the all too real consequences of COVID-19 misinformation on its platform. We have continued to express our concerns to Spotify to ensure changes to its platforms are made to help address this public health crisis. We look to Spotify to meet this moment and are committed to continuing our work together as it does. In fact, I love that. I love the statement, and I love that they address the fact that they have been speaking to Spotify about their mis- and disinformation on their platform since last April. And we also know Harry also spoke out about Joe Rogan in May of 2021 when he appeared on the Armchair Expert, the podcast Armchair Expert with Dak Shepard and Monica Padman. And Harry talked about, he said there, among other things, he says, you've got to be careful. He says, I think the issue is like in today's world with misinformation, just like endemic, you've got to be careful what comes out of your mouth when it comes to that. Because news doesn't exist in just news anymore. It's splattered all over the place. So when people listen to Joe Rogan and say, well, if he says it, then maybe and you're right. They're sort of like, well, don't listen to me. It's like, well, don't say that. Just stay out of it. If you have a platform, with a platform comes responsibility. And Harry is responding to a comment that Dax, was saying he understood Joe Rogan is not an expert in the medical field, so people shouldn't really listen to him. And so he's saying, well, I'm not an expert, so you shouldn't really listen to me. And Harry was saying, look, if you have a platform, you have to be careful what comes out of your mouth. People are listening to you and they will follow what you say, especially if you have a large platform and are influential. If you, don't know what you're talking about or don't understand what's happening, then shut up. Don't be saying stuff like that because it can cost people their lives. And that's why he's saying, if you have a platform comes with responsibility. You have to be careful about what comes out of your mouth. And so Harry addressed all this on the Armchair podcast in May. Harry also talked about misinformation during LA's first live event since COVID, the Global Citizens Live concert. He was on stage and he addressed the dangers of misinformation. They also addressed it at Global Citizens when they were in New York as well. He is he's done different online seminars addressing misinformation. He's written articles about misinformation, and so they've been addressing this whole thing. Again, I didn't think they would, but I'm glad that they put that out there. They also said that, look, we're going to be working with Spotify to make these changes happen, and they called on Spotify to meet the moment. This is the moment. This is when you need to do something about that. And also too, they're not giving up their contract. And so, which I'm sure makes a lot of the British press really angry, because they're like, you need to quit Spotify. They really want them to not have that $18 million. This is about the $18 million. Make no mistake about that. Or at least the $18 million they think the Sussexes have. That is what this is all about. And so I'm glad Harry and Meghan have not canceled their contract with Spotify, that they're going to be there and work with Spotify, hopefully. Harry even joined the Aspen group that has put together this whole packet about misinformation, and I think they may have sent it out to different companies to help them with and to be able to get rid of misinformation in their companies. So I'm so glad that Harry did that, and that they're not giving up their deal with Spotify, that they can use their platform for good. Why should they give it up? They can work with Spotify to make changes so that this, whether it means deplatforming Joe Rogan, which I know they signed $100 million, but the fact that their company is tanking, might really give them pause, and maybe want to rethink that relationship with Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan has come out, and now he's like, oh, okay, maybe I'm going to be more balanced now. I'm going to have my misinformation, but I'm also going to bring expert on the other side. So basically, he's going to be two sidesing it. Yes, I'm going to have to please my right-wing nutcases who believe in all this misinformation. But then I'm going to pretend that, well, let's bring some balance to it. Let's bring people that, are knowledgeable in the medical profession, so that way my show is balanced. Right. Spotify, you need to deplatform Joe Rogan and those like him. That is the solution. And get rid of those episodes on your platform that is spreading misinformation. That's what needs to happen. Spotify CEO, after Harry and Meghan put out their statement, well, even before that, even before Harry and Meghan even put out their statement, Brene Brown, who has a very, very popular podcast on Spotify, also decided that she is not going to upload any more podcasts until further notice. I guess she's waiting to see what Spotify is going to do, if they're going to clean up their act. I mean, this woman is amazing. Her books and her seminars and stuff have changed so many people's lives. I love listening to her. So, oh my gosh, if you guys haven't already and you haven't canceled your Spotify subscription, definitely. I love her Dare to Lead podcast. Definitely check it out. It's her work and her knowledge and her experience. It's amazing. So definitely, definitely, definitely check it out. Not long after the Sussexes released their statement, Daniel Ek, the CEO of Spotify, posted on Twitter, and this is what he said. There are lots of conversations about information regarding COVID-19 on Spotify. We have heard the criticism, and we're implementing changes to help combat misinformation. And then so he went on to post this very long, very wordy, you know how some people would write these really long letters or statements, whatever, with tons and tons of words, but not really say much of anything? That's kind of what this is. And it just made everybody angry, because what they're not is specific things. What it doesn't include there and specific things like, we are going to pull down some of Joe Rogan's episodes that clearly is misinformation, or we are going to deplatform him and others who spread misinformation. That is not anywhere there. Again, Joe Rogan, they literally paid Joe Rogan $100 million to spread misinformation on Spotify. So I guess it's asking a lot for them to, to cancel him. So some of the things that they're going to do at Spotify. Today we are publishing our long-standing platform rules and policies. Then they're also going to be, we are working to add content advisory to any podcast episode that includes discussion about COVID-19. This advisory will direct listeners to our dedicated COVID-19 hub. Also, we will also begin testing ways to highlight our platform rules to our creators and publisher tools to raise awareness around what is acceptable and help our creators understand their accountability for the content they post on our platform. I mean, again, those are good things, but they're not the things that it's like to really show that you're serious. Like pulling misinformation off your site, like deplatforming. Those are things that will send a really strong message. This is just stuff to make it look like they're doing something, and by next week they forget about their policies when it's broken, and because someone isn't, they're paying someone $100 million and they break it, and they're just gonna turn a blind eye to it, which is what they've always been doing. So anyways, it is just a mess. So look, they said they're gonna do all these things. The next few weeks is all eyes are going to be on Spotify to see what it is they're going to be doing that will make a difference in getting their stuff off their platform. And coming back to the Sussex's Spotify podcast, one of the things, going back to Cardi B's, her fight with Tasha K, one of the things that Cardi B did after it was all over and she had made a statement about it and stuff, she tweeted that she would love to speak with Meghan Markle. And I just think that's fantastic. I mean, I would love to see them get together, whether it's in private or if it's public. But I was thinking in terms of Spotify, and the Sussexes have a Spotify podcast that they're working on. What a fantastic thing that they could, she and Meghan and Cardi can have a talk on Spotify, on her podcast. And I just think those two with their massive platform would do amazing. It'll go amazing way into combating not only the misinformation on, say, on Spotify, but the hate channels that, especially on YouTube, and the hate that they both have suffered from those hate channels on YouTube and other streaming platforms. So I look forward to that. I mean, I hope that can happen. It would be amazing. I think what a fantastic way to use, your podcast. Bring Cardi on. I mean, not only Cardi, I say bring Lizzo, Megan Thee Stallion, Serena Williams, Naomi Osaka. Heck, bring the vice president of the United States, who is going through the same thing with so many trolls and all of that stuff coming at her, and a lot of them targeting Black and women of color. I just think having either a series of individual episodes with these women, or all of them coming together to share to talk about their shared experience of being bullied and being attacked on these platforms, I think would be amazing. And I think it would be an incredible way to use this podcast. I saw like some people were like, oh, Cardi B is cloud chasing by using Meghan Markle's name. Are you serious? Cardi B has like 100 million followers. What are you talking about, cloud chasing? The fact is, even if she's cloud chasing, I don't care. So what if she's cloud chasing? This topic and dealing with this is more important than whether it's cloud chasing, and I don't care what it is, as long as these two come together and be able to really talk about it, raise awareness to those people, and basically pressure those platforms like YouTube and Spotify to change, So I just think it would be amazing if that happens. Kudos to Cardi B for putting it out there. I hope that whoever knows Cardi and knows Meghan could come together and bring these two together. I just think it would be fantastic. I hope that happens. I hope that they're able to connect, if only to be a support for each other, if only to be a, support for each other, to help each other and encourage each other. As and I'm sure Tasha K is not the only person that attacks Cardi B. I don't know, but I'm sure she wasn't the only one. People feed off of that stuff and create their own channel, especially when they know they can hate someone and say all these nasty things and make money doing it. That is why they all flock to YouTube, because they know they can hate and make money hating. So I hope the gods bring them together. The ancestors, come on, ancestors, bring them together. Karma, bring them together. That would be amazing. And people were saying, like, Meghan should sue. And you know what? I think Meghan has every right. If Meghan wants to sue, she will have every right. She has all the evidence there. She will win a case against these horrible YouTubers. But I think and that would be great, because I love fighter Meghan, fighting and destroying and wiping the earth with the Daily Fail. And I love fighter Meghan. But when I'm thinking about it, Meghan has been fighting and having to deal with all this mess from the time it was revealed that she was dating Prince Harry. She's had to deal with mess from the press, from trolls on just about every platform. She's also had to deal with mess from Harry's horrible, despicable family. She's had to deal with mess from her own white side of the family, those despicable wretches. She's had to deal with all of that. Plus, being a new wife and trying to be the wife to her husband, trying to be a mom to 2 babies, she has not had a moment of peace. And so as much as I want Meghan to have justice, which she rightly deserves, I want her to have peace. I want her to stay under a tree, read a book. I want her to stay right under that tree, creating and being what she wants and doing what she wants, creating all the things that she wants. She has Pearl, she had podcasts. If she wants to go back to being a blogger, if she wants to do her fashion, if she wants to do whatever it is she wants to do, my dream for her is for her to do that and focus on that. There will always be trolls. There will always be people who, and we know with all these trolls, the underlying thing among all of those things when it comes to Meghan is racism. We know that that's the underlying of all of that stuff. And my thing is with all of that is, our instinct is to fight back the minute people, come at us with that, because we know what is beneath all of that stuff. But I always go back to something that Toni Morrison said, and in this incredible quote, I always go back to that when I'm tempted to go fighting every racism battle and every battle that I always go back to this incredible quote that she says, and this is what Toni Morrison's quote says. It says, the very serious function of racism is distraction. It keeps you from doing your work. It keeps you explaining over and over your reason for being. Somebody says you have no language and you spend 20 years proving that you do. Somebody says your head isn't shaped properly, so you have scientists working on the fact that it is. Somebody says you have no art, so you dredge that up. Somebody says you have no kingdom, so you dredge that up. None of this is necessary. There will always be one more thing. And that I feel like is so important, because honestly, when these crop of trolls die out, when these horrible YouTubers, the murky Megs and the others who are the main ones, especially on YouTube, attacking Meghan, there's going to be others. Also, what they're also going to be doing is moving the goalposts. So every time, they say like, Meghan hasn't done this, and then whenever she does that, they'll move the goalposts to something else. So it's always going to be something else, some way where she isn't perfect for them or the right person for them. There's always going to be something. And Toni Morrison is saying that the real function of racism is distract you from being the amazing, incredible, awesome legend that you are created to be. They want you to focus on them, so that when you focus on them, you're not focusing on the things you want to focus on. And my goal and my dream for her, and of course, this is my dream, Meghan can do whatever she wants to when she does, and I respect whatever it is, choices she make. If she wants to sue them now, that's it. But my dream for her is to take her eyes off of them, which it looks like she has been doing. Like, completely take her eyes off of them and focus on the things that is important to her. Her family, her mental health, her, her dreams, her passions, her goals. And the best revenge is living well. The best revenge is succeeding, whatever that means for you. The best revenge is to living your purpose and not focusing on the people that are trying to distract you from it. Living to your highest level, your highest ideals, the highest you that you can be. That is the best revenge, and that is what I want for Meghan. And if down the road she's like, okay, I could do both, I could focus on that and also soothe these trolls, good for her. But I want Meghan right now to rest. To rest, be at peace, stay under her tree, sipping wine or whatever it is she's sipping, her Tiganello, whatever her favorite thing is, and doing the things that she loves to do. And let the trolls be trolls. Okay, guys, that's it. That's all I got. That's my 2 cents on Spotify and our faves. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. As you know, at the bottom of this video, click the subscribe button and also click the notification button. So that you know when we drop a video. And please share this video with your friends. We are trying to build an audience. We would appreciate it if you would help us build an audience. So definitely. And if you're interested in supporting us, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Thank you so much to all the incredible men and women who have been supporting us. We are so grateful for you and for everything that you have done in supporting us in this way. And if you're interested in supporting us, we do have PayPal, we do have Cash App in our description section. Definitely jump on there. There's no obligation, obviously. But if you like our content and would like to support us, we appreciate it. Thank you so much. Also, there are other ways to support us. We do have merchandise, really cool merchandise. We have mugs and sippy cups. We have mugs. We have t-shirts and tank tops and sweatshirts and hoodies and bags and all of those things. So definitely jump on there and shop till you drop. Hey. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.